Cincinnati football coach Scott Satterfield with us. Keaton Thomas, KT just wrapped up. He's a baller now.
He looks like it. Yeah. They'll be coming to Cincinnati this year.
Yeah, you get to see him.
I get to see him up close and personal. Yeah.
How would you explain your off season and where you are as you're about to start working out and everything's about to get real?
Yeah, I mean, I think the off season is a time for the teams to come together. Especially this day and age, when you're bringing in so many new players and different players. We brought in 12 freshmen in January, and then roughly 20 transfer guys. I mean, so it's really a time to come together as a team and for them guys to get to know each other. Quite honestly, you practice 15 days in the spring, and then now in the summer times, there's a lot more football stuff that you're doing as far as lifting and running, but you're also doing some football stuff. We just moved into a new facility 2 weeks ago, so that's been incredible. Our guys are loving that, basically living in this thing now. And, man, what a game changer that is for us. It's such a difference from where we were at in our old building compared to where we are now. And it's going to make a huge difference as we move forward.
For you, and this is, again, just outside observation, it feels like, watching the roster develop, watching the way that you have been able to go in the portal, that it seems like you and the staff are in your rhythm now, is where the first 2 years, especially given the chaos of conference realignment, everything that goes on that coaches have no control over, that they probably should have more, and all of that you guys are maybe in a groove that you haven't been able to hit because of all the things that were out of your control. Yeah,
I mean, I think that's a great perspective you have on us because, the first year you're getting in there and, man, it's chaotic. You got a new coach. People are leaving. You don't have time to recruit. I miss all the stuff. And then, by the way, you're in a new conference, the Big 12. And so, you go through that thing. And then last year I thought we made a much better effort, step forward with the players we brought in and started out 5-2, did some really good things. And then this year we did it even better, I think. We brought back our best players. We were able to continue to add and build onto our team. Recruiting was good. Last year we had over 900 snaps of true freshmen. So we played a lot of young guys, and all those guys are back again this year. Signed another good class. So I really believe things have headed in the right direction. Obviously, our fans, they want wins, and we want wins too, and I think they're going to come. I think this is our best team that we've had since I've been there. I think the chemistry is outstanding. We got a bunch of good dudes in the building that love to compete. So, yeah, I mean, we're excited about the year for all that. And, we know this league's really, really good. A lot of great coaches and a lot of great players. You walk around this facility right now, you just look at a lot of them. And, and it's going to be a fun year. We open up with Nebraska. I know that's a big game to start the season out for us in Kansas City, and I think that's a big game, just to kick the year off.
Going back to the facility, what's it going to be like to have a proper indoor?
Oh, my gosh. I mean, it's incredible. We've had to go down to the Bengals facility probably 25 times over 2 years, and whenever the weather was bad, or shift your practice. No practice field. We've just had the Nippert Stadium to practice in. I mean, it's just been a mess really for 2 years, and to be able to have this field and the facility to go in right to it. There's the weight room goes right into the facility, and to have that interaction right there with our guys. Our guys, I look out my window and they're out there throwing, or somebody, O-line is working on fundamental. I mean, it's just so convenient to be able to get the extra work that you need to get into, and also all the different modalities that we have for recovery, the hot tubs, the cold tubs, the steam room, the sauna, the cryo, the sleep salt tank. I mean, we got so many things. I don't even know half this stuff. I've tried it all out. It's pretty good stuff. I mean,
yeah. You ever say like, hey, you're like Dante, hey, come back later.
Yeah, come back later. I got this right now. Yeah. Oh, it's great. It's fun.
No, it looks incredible. I mean, they did an excellent job with the design. You mentioned the leadership and some of the vets, and your AD was over here earlier, and he starts rattling off Sorsby and Royer and Corleone, and I'm going, not a lot of people are talking about Cincinnati, but dang, that's a pretty good starting core to just roll with and go to war with.
It is. We brought back a lot of good players, and then what we're able to add. I think some really good ones. Our linebackers. We got 6 linebackers that could start for us, and that a lot of people don't have that, but I feel like there's no drop off when we sub right there. We brought in a running back, Tyree Walker from Wisconsin, rushed for almost 1,000 yards last year, take Corey Connor's place. I think he's going to step right in and do a great job for us. Being able to get Joe Royer back and Dante back, I mean, these guys that were getting sought after, I mean, obviously your best player is going to get calls, and to be able to get them back, I think is huge for us, in the offseason. And then, it's a great time right now, I think, for Cincinnati. And, I think we are hitting our stride, and And this year, man, you're in a league this year where 9 returning starting quarterbacks. It's going to be very, very competitive. These teams that have these starting quarterbacks back already have an upper hand on other teams because of the experience that they do have. Because most of these quarterbacks have had some really good days. They've also learned a lot from the bad days. And so that experience is invaluable. And, we've got one of them. He got 19 starts, and he's learned a lot. He's played great. I mean, he had a day last year against Texas Tech. I think he threw for 440 yards, which was the best in the Big 12. He's had some bad days too. So we got to get the good days pulled out of him more often than the bad, and I think that's where we're headed for this year.
And a Texas boy, too.
Yeah,
he is. Yeah. He's from right down the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Explain the kind of person he is, Brendan, and not just the quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little bit of a happy-go-lucky kid. I think he's fun to be around. He likes to talk, he's confident but not arrogant, which is a good quality to have. And the way the season finished last year, he came on a vengeance this all season. The last 6 months, I mean, he's like the first one in the building. He don't ever leave. Like he'll come up, just sit in my office or the quarterback coach's office. I mean, just to be around. He wants to make sure the guys are doing what they need to do to be good. He had a bad taste in his mouth, and so like he's driven right now as a person. I think more so than anything, and he's focused. That's a deadly combination to have. That's what you want to have as your quarterback. I mean, example, man, we do these competitions all the time, and like one of the things is tug of war. You wouldn't think your quarterback be the first one to jump out there and grab the rope. He is. Like he's the first one. He's going against linebackers. He don't care, and just that's how competitive. He's got a great competitive spirit about him, but at the same time, fun to be around and, happy-go-lucky kid.
One of the other transfers you brought in was Joe Cotton from South Dakota, and one of the things I know that is chaotic and it has to kind of stink for the FCS coaches is that you get these guys that you found them, you developed them, and then you did too good of a job. And somebody like you comes in and gets them. But it's a great opportunity for a guy like Joe Cotton to come in, and he has played some really good football at South Dakota. They've been good. What do you see from him taking that step up? Because it is a different level in competition.
It is, and he coming in, we got him in the weight room and stuff, and like he's kind of untapped. I mean, like he's going to get a lot stronger, but he came in at 6'7", 320, and he's skinny, but he can move. He grew up playing soccer. Like he got great feet, but he's gotten a lot stronger since he's gotten on campus. I think he's got a lot of potential. Now he played at a different level, at South Dakota, and he's going to be playing in the Big 12, but he certainly has the tools and the attributes to be successful, and he's got the length. And, that's what you want at left tackle. The big, long arms, guys have a hard time running around him, but he's also a competitive guy as well. So, we're fired up about Joe. And, we hadn't put the pads on yet because he came in the summer. So it's going to be fun to watch him as we get to August to see what kind of player he'll be. But that was one of the pieces we need after the spring. We were like, all right, what do we need? Left tackle. And we went out and we were able to get Joe, and it's a great addition for us.
He played some big moments, too. That's the thing you can't –
absolutely. Well, you think about it, Dakota schools, man, they got linemen. All those Dakota schools, and they're always one of the best teams in the country. So,
no kidding. Yeah.
They're loaded.
So, this is narrative season. There's the common kind of topics like Brendan Sorsby being back is obviously a big one, and Dante and Royer. What is a narrative that's not being talked about, or something that you feel like within your program that you're excited about and maybe more people need to maybe know about?
Yeah, I mean, I think, for us bringing back the nucleus of our team, like I said, 6 linebackers that came back that had most all our tackles, being able to bring back, Dante and Sorsby and Joe Royer. I mean, Joe was a 3rd or 4th round draft grade, Senior Bowl invite, still was able to come back. And all that says is these guys like our program. They like being around there. They want to continue developing that. Obviously, if they had some sort of reservation, they're gone. They're going to another team or the NFL. But for him to come back, that was what we needed, because now we were able to go out and get some more guys to come in and help us. The narrative really probably is Cincinnati is just another team in the Big 12. I think that's probably the narrative. Nobody's probably fearful of Cincinnati at all. We won 3 games the first year and 5 last year. But I think we got a pretty good team.
Yeah,
I think we got a pretty good team this year.
I think you just went up a couple notches in my predictions.
So you played and then coached at your alma mater, Appalachian State.
That's
and
right.
So you were there when they beat Michigan.
Yep.
You were a part of that. That's an incredible tradition. So what was that like to be a part of an unbelievable run, and eventually it led you to Louisville and Cincinnati?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was a walk-on player. I got there in 1991. You didn't really nobody knew your name. You just trying to make a name for yourself, and ended up earning a scholarship, and then ended up starting my senior year. We went undefeated in '95 my senior year and won the Southern Conference, which is a great conference, by the way, back in the day. But then I was able to come back and as a head coach ushered App State into the Sun Belt. We made that transition from FCS to Division I. You go from 63 scholarships to 85. The thing that we've always been good at App State was, we trained with a chip on our shoulder. We felt we could beat anybody that we played. And that day at Michigan, we were able to go up there. They're number 5 team in the country, and we'd already won 2 national championships, but nobody knew about us.
Sure.
And you go up to there, and that put us on the map. You beat Michigan in the big house. They were number 5. They ended up winning 9 games that year, by the way, and beat Florida in a bowl game. But they started 0-2. They lost to us in Oregon, and then they won 9 games. And then we won our 3rd national championship that year. But I just learned a lot about people. I learned a lot about during that time. It's like, believe in your people, develop your people, and they'll end up being really, really good for you. Because most of our kids back then were no stars. They were just guys. Although we did have some talented players, but they were just guys. But they had a lot of heart and a lot of fight. And if you got that and you got grit and toughness and fight, and you're never going to give in, you're never giving up, then you can come on top a lot.
A&M knows a little bit about him, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a few years ago. Yeah, exactly right.
What is the feeling of being on the bus after that Michigan win and driving through hundreds of thousands of people who showed up because they thought this was going to be a game where they could just kind of hang out?
Yeah. It was incredible. I was up in the press box calling the plays that day, and we came down from the press box through the stands and just walking by, and most people were just sitting there like, with a blank stare on their face. They couldn't believe what just happened because we won on the last play. We blocked the field goal. Yep. Corey Lynch blocked it and returned it. It was unbelievable, but very gracious people. Like the fans were really gracious. I mean, like, oh, you guys are pretty good, yeah. None of our App State fans, because we drove up there when they drove back through Ohio, and it was around dinner time because we played at 12 noon. The fans that drove back through 5 or 6 o'clock, nobody paid for their meal. All the Ohio State fans bought every meal for the App State fans on the way back. It was every one of them. It was incredible. And we get back to campus, and we got back around midnight, and there's thousands, tens of thousands of people there. They had already tore our goalpost down. They're all waiting on our bus when we came in. It was incredible. I'll never forget it. What a moment.
I can't imagine, and of course I've been as a fan at a game where you never think that the team's going to lose, and then you walk out and look, I remember just being in Tallahassee as a college student, losing a game, and then you're out as a student and you're just like, why are we out tonight? Why are we out? Let's just go home, and but I never thought about it until you were just sitting here of the perspective of the guys who did it.
The guys who did it.
Driving out and going, we ruined this whole town's night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that is something that most people won't get to.
Well, not only that night, but it's been more than that because they're saying it's the greatest upset in college football history. So it's a black eye on Michigan forever.
Yeah.
For that day. I mean, we had I think 59 kids travel that day. I mean, we played about 32 of them because we had to have our best players on the field the whole day, and somehow we came out on top. I mean, they had some good players: Jake Long, Mario Manningham.
Oh yeah.
The quarterback is an incredible player who's still playing. Chad Henne, I think he's still playing in the league. So yeah, I mean, it was a special day and a special moment. But it just proves that anybody can beat anybody on any given day. And now we're in a league here where the parity is incredible. The worst place team in this league can beat the first place team on any given day. And so that's what you love about the Big 12 because of that. You never know who's going to win this game wherever you're playing.
We will remember this interview when you guys start having success this year because we could see it in your eyes.
Yeah. Well, we
you
appreciate
get that little
it.
twinkle. Scott, thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Cincinnati football coach Scott Satterfield with us on 365 Sports.